Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the foul clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Hi, I'm Jake, and I just recited my favorite poem, Invictus, by Ernest Henley. I love this poem because it's such a powerful description of resilience, which is the ability to stay strong and composed when going through a difficult time. Invictus is Latin for undefeated, and the poem was written in 1875, shortly after the poet had his leg amputated. And in it, he compares his situation to being in prison, writing about how strait the gate and how charged with punishments the scroll. It takes a more literal meaning in the incredible life of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison in South Africa before being released and becoming president. He would repeat this poem to himself over and over in his tiny cell to keep himself strong and his head held high. I was introduced to this poem by my Pee-wee hockey coach, who told us the last two lines before our final game. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Something that I do that requires resilience is running. I do it not only for the physical fitness, but for the mental strength and endurance that I gain. When I train, I learn how to deal with things like doubt, pain, and fear, and how to keep myself motivated and confident through it all. When I race, it all gets put to the test. I stand on the start line knowing how hard it's going to be, and that can be really scary. But if I've prepared well enough for it, both physically and mentally, I can stay in control of myself for the whole race. I've learned that when it gets to the point where I'm really hurting and doubt starts to kick in, I can't think about what's left in the race. Because the moment I start to think about that, I start to feel sorry for myself, and then I lose confidence. What I need to do to stay strong is to focus on myself in the moment. I think about my breathing, my footsteps, my arms swinging, and I remind myself that I'm well prepared, that I'm in control, and that I get to choose how well I finish. And when I do cross the finish line, all the pain that I've gone through gets forgotten, and I'm left with this incredible feeling of satisfaction and pride in what I've done, regardless of whether or not I won. And that feeling of facing a challenge and having the resilience to overcome it makes me a stronger person in all aspects of life. Invictus is my favorite poem because it inspires me to stay strong when going through a difficult or scary time by reminding me of what it means to be resilient. I think of what William Henley and Nelson Mandela went through and the type of mentality they must have had. You just need to remember that commitment and confidence comes from within, and that with that mastery of the mind, you can do incredible things. Now here is Invictus by Ernest Henley one more time. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the foul clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet, the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.